My name is Draupadi, born of fire, destined to walk a path no one should have to tread. My life has been one of trials, of challenges so great they would crush most. But I did not break. The world saw me as a queen, but I have always been more than a title. I was born for greatness, but that greatness did not come from ease. It was forged through suffering, strength, and a resolve that no one could take from me. It was here, in this very court, that I faced my greatest humiliation. My husbands, men bound by honor and strength, stood powerless. I was dragged before the assembly, a queen brought low, stripped of my dignity, treated like a mere object, staked in a game of dice as though I was nothing. But in that moment, I did not cower. I did not let fear consume me. Looked into the eyes of those who sought to shame me and asked the question that shattered the silence. Who gave Yudhishthira the right to stake me when he himself had lost his freedom? They couldn't answer, for the truth was on my side. I refused to be a victim in their game. My words echoed in that hall, a challenge to the injustice they sought to impose on me. They may have tried to take everything, but they could never take my spirit. Exile. The word itself carries the weight of loss. Once a queen, I now roamed the forests alongside my husbands. I was no stranger to hardship, but in those moments of solitude, I found strength. The world may have stripped me of my title, but it could never strip me of my resolve. I walked with my head high, carrying the pain, but also a burning desire for justice. This was not about vengeance. It was about restoring balance, restoring honor to what was lost. The forests became our home, and the nights were long. But in every moment, I reminded myself, I am Draupadi. No force in this world can bend me to its will. My suffering would not be in vain. I often think of my husbands, the 5 Pandavas, great warriors born to change the course of history. They were bound by their vows and by dharma, but even they struggled under the weight of it all. There were moments when I questioned them, moments when I felt betrayed by their silence. But I understood their burden, the burden of kingship, of righteousness. It was I, however, who reminded them of what was at stake. I could not afford to be silent. They needed to know that our fight was not just for power or a kingdom, it was for justice. I did not hesitate to speak my mind, to challenge them when their spirits faltered. They may have been the wielders of weapons, but I wielded a fire that could not be extinguished. Exile tested more than just our bodies. It tested our souls. As days turned into years, my patience was tested like never before. There were times when I felt the weight of despair, moments when I questioned the fairness of it all. But even in those darkest hours, I clung to the belief that justice would prevail. I reminded myself that strength is not only in action, but also in endurance. Every challenge I faced made me stronger. Every injustice only strengthened my resolve. I was not waiting for fate to be kind to me. No, I was waiting for the moment when I would claim what was rightfully ours, the war of Kurukshetra. I watched it unfold with a heavy heart. This was a war that was meant to bring justice, but it came at such a terrible cost. I lost so much, my brothers, my sons. Each death felt like a dagger to my soul. I had fought so long and so hard for this moment, but the price we paid was unimaginable. I watched the battlefield from afar, watching as men I loved fell one by one. But even in my grief, I stood firm. I had to. The pain was unbearable, but I knew this war was not fought in vain. It was fought for righteousness, for the restoration of Dharma. My strength was tested again and again, And yet, I remained. I had to see this through. If not for me, then for all those who had suffered alongside me. When the war was over and the dust finally settled, the silence was deafening. The world had changed. My heart was heavy with loss, but I had learned long ago that strength is not just in winning, it is in surviving. I had lost so much, but I had gained something greater: justice. I did not seek revenge, though the world would have understood if I had. I sought balance. I sought peace, knowing full well that true victory does not lie in destruction, but in the restoration of order. It wasn't just about reclaiming a throne or restoring a kingdom. It was about standing up for what was right, even when the odds were impossible. I realized that my strength came not from wielding a sword, but from the fire that burned within me. I was more than a queen. I was a symbol of resilience. The world. My journey wasn't just about survival. It was about triumph. Triumph over those who tried to silence me. Triumph over a system that sought to diminish my worth. I am Draupadi, a woman born of fire, tested by the harshest trials life could offer. And yet, I am still here. My story is one of strength. Strength that can inspire others. Strength that lives on in every woman who refuses to be silenced. My name is Draupadi, and my spirit remains unshakable forever.